Banter fam coming to you with a Saturday stream. Hope you guys are doing great. Okay, been an interesting week. We've had two of our powerhouse couple fighting with each other, creating a little bit of a turbulence couple 2-3 days back, and seeing Bitcoin drop into the low 100,000s. And as you could see now, if you have a look at this over here, you could see that it's important this week for this pin bar candle that we are forming. Now, guys, we did speak about the shakeout. We spoke about, this market is taking its time, but we also said that the speed up will happen before the reversal happens, right? The quick drop off will come. Now, a lot of people will fear out of this drop over here. Bitcoin's dropping back to 100, right? Some altcoins, I saw ETH went back into the 2,400s. Now, again, I need you to stay focused. This is the buying time. Today, I have trade setups for you. Why? Because we are about to exit the RSI oversold position on the daily. And this is going to be a strong trigger because, again, what this does is when you are sitting in oversold territory, you have these hope feelings. You have this, what's going to happen type of thing, right? The moment that we start to leave this ship over here, you get the confidence emotions and markets start to speed up. The last time the market was oversold like this on the daily, we were sitting with Bitcoin in that $80,000 range. And the moment that we exited this area over here, you can see we also sat here for some time. The moment we exited this area over here, price starts to speed up. So again, I've been saying that this whole week, they're going to trap, they're trapping. One thing you can notice about me, my titles are the same. I'm not bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. I'm saying, hey, stay bullish, stay in the zone here, but be aware of the fast trap. Everything, when it speeds up, it comes to an end. If we were going slowly like this for days, it speeds up, and then that's what brings in buying liquidity. How many people panicked the other day when they saw the news and they saw two of the biggest names fighting? Right? But then all of a sudden, one day later, markets bounce. Guys, I have multiple trade entries for you guys today. I'm going to show you again. I'm here to do streams and tell you what I am doing. I am going extremely long and building. And there are a couple of altcoins that are showing me tremendous strength right now. AVAX is looking a lot stronger than a bunch of altcoins. Doge's bounce is looking really good, right? We have a bunch of alts. So let's spend a Saturday together. Let's get prepared because tomorrow we are going into weekly close. And weekly close is where we're going to see some volume, something interesting where the bulls and bears are going to fight, right? And I want to show you how I truly believe that within this week now, we are going to get near a local bottom and the markets are going to start pushing back Bitcoin back to all-time highs and start releasing the altcoins. Guys, no more wasting time. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
How are we doing out there, guys? How are we keeping the mentality, right? It is boring, but stay focused now, right? Because after this stage, when the market starts to pop, you're not going to have much to do but to sit and make money. Right? The rest of the market's going to kind of figure out, should they be buying? Should they be getting in? They're going to be wanting to FOMO within the market. We're going to be sitting a lot more comfortable. So again, it just teaches you the times to work hard when no one's working hard. And then when the market starts to pop, our lives are going to become a little bit easier, right? Where we can basically sit back and allow the positions to ride out. But this is the time where you build entries to make money within this market, not waiting for the market to pop and then get interested. Right? You need to understand that there is a system to this game, right? Fish when no one is fishing and you catch the most fish. Quite simple, right? Yes, it is the hardest territory to fish because you are, like I said previously, you're that person that's 4 a.m. in the morning with the fishing rods out and the coffee and you're freezing and it's cold, right? It's not the easiest conditions, right? But when you watch that beautiful sunrise and you start to see how everything starts to pop and how you being earlier than the rest has benefited you highly and put you in this position, instead of rushing, because it's kind of like it's two things, right? I've stepped into the business world, obviously the last few years, but one thing specific that I did, let's just get this to focus on my face here, okay, is I started joining like a lot of business groups, right? A lot of business groups and these type of things, because I want to surround myself with a lot of entrepreneurs and kind of see their mindsets and what they're doing. right? And the biggest thing that I've learned is their preparation is so much higher than it's two categories. One's highly successful, those that are not financially successful, right? In that sense. And just seeing the difference here is the one is up 5 in the morning, ready to rock by the time 7, 8 comes. They're highly prepared for the day, therefore they can perform. Then you got those that get out of bed last minute, right? And I've been one of these my whole life. You know, get up at 7, rush, go through, go do something, right? It just shows you again that the more preparation, the more you build, the more at ease you are when the trades start to play out. You have already prepared for this. You have already got things going. You already have a full system instead of just waking up and winging it, right? And that rushness is what creates a lot of mistakes in our lives and within trading too. The more you start to realize that trading is a very good a very good representation of how we do things in life as well. Trading and the way we live life is quite similar, right? You either live with a lot of risk and you kind of wing a lot of things, or you basically prepare in the hard times. You use the hard times to get better. You know, for me, when something goes bad within life, it's like, oh, what can I make change? And this is the time for me to do something different. Because when my good time comes again, right, I want it to be different than the previous. So again, it's the same thing. And I'm just popping in here to just remind you again that this is more than trading, right? This is understanding. Because if you look at these damn charts over here and you look at these candles over here, all it is representing people's emotions and decisions, right? What exactly they are doing. The moment that markets start to break important levels, people come flying in and they have no problem with buying. The moment you put them under a little bit of stress, it becomes quite tough. Okay, but the real killer in the space is the moment you start to chop, right? And you start to let them drive themselves mad within their own brains. A lot of us humans and traders are overthinkers, right? So we don't really think when something is moving, you know, because you got dopamine. The dopamine of something dropping fast or something pumping fast is keeping you in. But the moment that you start to simmer things and start to run things sideways, we kind of drive ourselves crazy within those times and we kind of exhaust ourselves. And that's why it becomes so easy to manipulate markets, right? Because they understand this game. The same thing now, if you look at what happened now recently, there was no big bearish news, right? When prices were coming down within Bitcoin. You saw that this was multiple days now of just Bitcoin chopping around. There was no real bad news. A little bit on tariffs and a little bit of these type of things, right? But you could see how we just start to trickle. And then all of a sudden at the end here, you know, there's a little bit of news of 2 of the biggest names in the world, you know, are fighting each other now. And this could be bad. This could be terrible. They're going to turn on each other, these type of things, right? And it's crazy how that tends to be the bottom. That tends to be where the markets bounce and start to recover. And you'll start to realize that what you see and what you hear, right, are all things to make you kind of make mistakes. Okay. But always before the big event happens or the big reversal is about to happen, they always drive you crazy by this bit of sideways and chop first. Exhaust your brain, then pounce it. Makes it so easy for you to get in your brain and quit. Okay. And that's why it's just so important right now, okay, to understand that this game and these charts and everything that we're doing within crypto is playing with that brain. And the more that you can put that in control and understand that this is a game, they're trying to shake you out, they're trying to play all these different tricks, you start to realize, okay, this ain't so bad, right? When the biggest news events are happening, next time I'm prepared, I got cash to do it, right? You start to work with it and you stop thinking that this is a game that you're going to lose. It's actually a game that you're going to win. The moment you actually see it though. And I've noticed this and you guys will all notice this on your crypto journey. When it comes to investing, when it comes to trading, when it comes to everything, right? One day you're just going to have that aha moment, right? You can have multiple months of in and out. You're just going to have that aha moment and it's going to start to flow. And I know this because I'm also a golf player, right? And golf is one of the most annoying sports you could ever get in your life. It's really annoying because you can work so hard and then you can it just changes, you know, your swing's gone and this and that and this and that. Okay, but you get to a certain point after breaking through a lot of time commitments that it actually starts to, you get this aha moment, which means that whenever you notice that something is different within that day, you know how to switch to plan B, plan C, and you know how to be the best version of yourself, even though the one side is not working the best right now, right? And you start to evolve and get yourself in. So again, I'm teaching you these things because, and I don't care again, right? Because when this market rallies up, everyone's just going to be thinking about that. I want you guys to understand that this is what you are building right now by being motivated and staying in the game with me on this journey and being together on this. This is what you're actually developing. You are learning how to handle all different circumstances and all different things. And isn't it damn crazy that when the big news events happen, we bounce, right? It's actually, that's why I will literally educate for as long as I can. Because they are just what they do to people and how it works over here. It's just like, it's actually a game and we can win the game. We can literally win the game when we start to see the truth, right? And the tricks. And when we do that, it ain't so scary anymore. So what do you have again? You had a bit of news and you had a fast drop off from Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped straight into support zones, right? These support zones are sitting over here. I was saying the 100 to the 102, right? I said, and we had Matt as well from Club that jumped on, and he said, hey, there's like $7, $8, $10 billion sitting in liquidations here, right? Then there is a bunch of liquidations sitting at 107, right? So not only did we know that the market was getting to a point where the shakeout could happen at any point, right? Because again, when this RSI was at the bottom over here, we never saw a fast shakeout here yet. So we knew that it could still come at any point unless Bitcoin really started breaking very fast. And we didn't break out that trend. You could see on the top side over here, if you put the trend line in, we weren't breaking. Okay, so it always told us at any point now, this shakeout could basically happen quickly and basically shake everyone out. So we were prepared for that major shift over here. But then we also said, okay, where's liquidity in this market right now? Okay, and again, you can use things like CoinGlass and all these type of things just to go look at who's long and short within the markets. And we saw, okay, that it is actually around a 50% mark right now, right? 50-50, and this was around 2 days ago. Okay, 50-50 when it comes to shorts and longs, which means that the market was very indecisive. So there was bets going in both areas, right? And there was a lot of bets building up, a lot of shorts piling up here for those that thought we're going to lose 100 very quickly, and a lot of longs, right? For those who say, hey, we're going to hold these areas here and we're going to bounce, which gave me an idea that, okay, they're going to wipe them both out. Okay, and because the stochastic RSI was at the bottom, it gave me an understanding that, hey, we're going to wipe the bottom out first. Let's wipe the longs out of the markets. The moment that Bitcoin started dropping to $100,000, all of a sudden the mentality of the market said, hey, this is bearish. So the shorting went up through the roof. Okay, so when you went from 50-50, the moment that Bitcoin came down to the 100, all of a sudden you're sitting at 70-30, maybe even 80-20, because a lot of the longs got flushed out from that little move. Right. And again, the fact that the liquidations are not sitting at 80,000 or these lower areas showing us is that there's a lot of fight here right now, and Bitcoin rarely wants to go. Okay, the bulls are trying to hold the levels as strong as possible, but nonetheless, that shakeout came and ended up removing, you know, and getting us to an 80-20 when it comes. So what does that mean right now? It means that 80% of the market right now is sitting in the short territory. Okay, and those that are longing are who survived are in the market, but again, the max pain is now to the upside. So in my brain, it was, okay, we shake down, we push up, we shake again, and then we go, right? And this was the last chats that we had. Did it change the scenario that I was bullish? No, right? I have not changed my theory on being bullish for we know, right? It's specifically in the last 2 weeks. You see all my tiles on the shows, bull, 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 stay in, stay in, stay in, stay in. Does that mean there's traps on the journey or there's no traps? Of course, there's going to be traps. But the ultimate thing is bull, right? So that got us to this scenario over here. And I want to pop in over here and show you. So this was what I left you guys with on the last show. Okay, was this over here. So you say, hey, Bitcoin is now at this area. We were sitting over here and we say, hey, at any point now, there's more. Right now, we're at a 50-50 and the RSI is at the bottom. It's very likely they're going to shake the longs out. Right. We also had ridiculous traders that were trading billions of dollars. We know the guys that were trading, right? It was time to shake out. So shakeout happened. I said anywhere between this $100,000 and $102,000 is liquidity. So again, the moment you think things are getting bad, you actually realize that there is buying power here. Okay, this is where the buying happens, when you have the fast drop into big liquidity zones. And there is a lot of protection right now on Bitcoin at this 99 to 102,000. There is a lot of buying power that is sitting here. Plus, we are now sitting with a market that is 70% more shorts than longs right now, 70-30, 80-20, right? We'll go through the stats on Monday with Matt again. But what I saw this morning is there's definitely more shorts in the market, right? Because the longs kind of got wiped out. So what that means now is the market's getting ready to take out the shorts. Okay, and where the shorts are, and this is what was quite amazing about looking at the data and obviously looking at the charts, is if we look at this over here, and I just want to show you a normal basic chart here. Okay, if we look at these levels over here, I use simple TA to understand things, right? The way I understand things is you have these levels, okay, and price will struggle to get through these levels. And the moment that it breaks through it, that now becomes a strong level to buy, right? And it's the same thing to the downside. If we start moving to the downside and we here, and we lose that level, okay, that is going to be a big area of possibly rejection or a wall, right? Because that means we're basically doing this. We're passing each level to the downside. So if we look at Bitcoin itself right now, and we look at it on the daily chart, that is where resistance is sitting. Over there, okay? Now remember, shorters and bears in this market have the same mentality as longs. Don't think that when this market goes parabolic that everyone's making money to the upside. When this market goes parabolic and we see these big pushes to the upside, there's actually a lot of people sitting on the other side that were shorting, that were saying, hey, we're going to go down, right? So there's a lot of losses that actually happen when the market goes parabolic because there's another team, the red team, that's sitting there and they're shorting, trying to hold the market down. Okay, so what you're sitting with now is you're sitting at, when this started to drop here, more and more and more shorters were shorting that, right? They were shorting here, and the moment it dropped, short, short, short. So there's a lot of people that are sitting with positions of shorts right now. This is not even altcoin, this is Bitcoin itself over here. Therefore, a lot of them have stop losses here, and a lot of their liquidations are sitting here. Okay, and you can see that this is highlighting this area over here at $107,000. If you go look at where all the liquidation prices on shorts are sitting right now, are sitting at this area of 107,000, right? So without even knowing that data, TA is showing that. Now it's also telling us, if you look at this over here and you put this top trend line in, it's telling us that at now, any point, we are going to shoot up and take out this liquidity. Okay, then what you're going to have is you're going to have a more neutral market because the longs got shaken out. Now the shorts start getting shaken out. However, the moment that the shorts get taken out, what's going to happen? The balance field is going to do this again, right? Where right now the shorts are sitting here, bigger than the longs. And then the moment we take out the shorts, then the longs will be slightly bigger than the shorts. Then there'll be another shake, and then we're neutralized, right? And this, the main reason for this, guys, is to get the market to even playing fields before it takes off again. Because what you don't realize is this is what is halting the market. This is where the walls are all sitting. That's why every time before we pump, we fight somewhere. Because you have this fight between the bulls that are sitting over here and the bears. But the moment that the decision is made, okay, and we clear out one of these zones, you will see the market go in one direction very quickly, okay, because this is where the fight was happening. There's no walls sitting over here. The walls will be sitting at the next major areas. And again, all this fighting for here, and why I've been bullish over here is to tell you guys we are preparing for $130,000 to $140,000 Bitcoin. That's what we are preparing for. Not only are we preparing for a $130,000, $140,000 Bitcoin, we are also preparing for the market to gain confidence that it wants to take risk again, right? Because the moment that we break out of this, and again, Bitcoin's at 130, 140, you are going to see a lot of people diversify into altcoins because in their brains, risk is now disappearing because Bitcoin is in a safe place and it's going parabolic. And where they know where the real money is to be made is within the altcoins because the altcoins have smaller market caps and bigger growth. And they also know altcoins are terrible to downside, and the altcoins have had a very hard downside over the last 3-4 months. Okay, so when that confidence comes in, it's a no-brainer that altcoins are going to start moving. And we also got to remember that ETH started making really big moves too. And ETH is sitting outside of the trend line. Don't forget that, right? It's hovering sideways here now, but it's outside of the damn trend. And at any point, ETH is going to then kick in again over here. So going back over here again, you understand, now for me, we're going to now pump and take out the shorts. Okay, not only that, look, this is how we know this is a trap. Because if it was not a trap, we would not be breaking back into this trend line, right? Because the reason is if you could see that when we dropped down, we were here, 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 and we dropped down. We would not get through this wall over here if this was real. right? This would tell us, hey, we're going to do this type of thing. This over here was a very important zone for us to get through and to recover again, to say, hey, all of this was just a damn trap to just trap and exchange hands within the market. And look how we are now have broken back into that trend over there, right? And again, your shorts are now sitting higher than your longs. So this is the play on Bitcoin for me over here. Okay, we have a breakout, and I want to show you guys a breakout over here. There's the breakout on Bitcoin. We are now breaking the 4-hour trend, which is good. We also know, again, the daily stocks are at the bottom. So the pump that we are currently preparing for, and let's bring this up here again so you can see it, okay, is going to last in the areas of around, and again, this is the midterm. All we have to do is get to the all-time highs, and from there, the bigger move will happen, right? But on the midterm, for the next couple, you could see here that this RSI could easily take, we could easily have a nice strong rally from here for the next 7 to 10 days, right? Maybe we'll see how fast, because you've got midterm. We'll get some better entries in between that, but this is the play here. Okay, so we're breaking trend over here. Market's getting ready to pop. Very likely Bitcoin's going to speed up into the weekly close. The weekly close looks like this right now on Bitcoin. Okay, it's forming a pin bar candle. They're actually very good candle. And what I love about it is it's still holding the previous candles here. It's still holding a support. If this pin bars, it's a good sign that next week we're going to see a green candle to the upside, right? But it's important tomorrow that we do actually try close above the 106 and 107. So we can form a nice little green candle. But again, I'll be on Monday to show you what that looks like. Here's the play. We break up. I am not super interested in buying everything right now, okay? Because it's sitting here at this point, it means a couple of alts, and specifically Bitcoin's breaking trend. A couple of altcoins are breaking trend now too. So there's some altcoins that I don't want to miss an opportunity right now. Okay, and let's go through a few of them over here, so you can kind of see what I'm at. Here we go. Like 𝗬𝗍, for example. 𝗬𝗍 is now breaking out. Okay, and I think there's going to be a short-term little retest, and I'll explain that now in a sec. But 𝗬𝗍 is a token that I really like. It's popping trend now. Okay, if I want to fight for 2-3%, like I'm getting ready to buy some 𝗬𝗍, right? 𝗬𝗍 is popping its head through, and not only that, I think it's going to pop up more and then have a retest and get going. So 𝗬𝗍 is a token that for me is looking incredibly good. Things like Injective, guys. Injective is starting to rip out of there and showing me strength. So Injective is breaking those major trends, right? I look at things like ALGO. ALGO is breaking big trends, right? Popping their head through. Okay, so I'm really got to understand that, hey, if Bitcoin, because again, my scenario works like this, where Bitcoin's going to go up and then come down and test, right? So I'm splitting my buys into two. I'm buying some tokens that are freshly breaking some great trends now, okay? And I'm actually saving a bunch of liquidity for this over here. Because what's going to happen is we're going to pump up, erase the shorts, the longs are going to be arrogant, shake out the longs, and then the market goes for all-time highs. That is the play for me. So there's some, if it's really great right now, it's specifically some spot entries. I'm buying alts on trend breaks now. Okay, and on this shake over here, my leverage positions are going to go crazy. This is where I'm going to be building massive leverage positions in those areas over there. Then after that, we start rallying incredibly quickly to the upside. Bitcoin dominance is just strong again. It was weak, now it's strong again. And you know what? That's okay. We keep going, right? Again, this thing is still sitting on the other side of the trend. Big trend that we're sitting on the other side. Okay, and it's just slowly tapering up, which just means that, okay, it is what it is. It is strong. Bitcoin dominance is strong, but we also know it's moving at an upwards angle, which means at any point now, a real big flush can happen. Very similar to this upwards angle that we saw over here, and we saw the distribution that comes in. So again, we know that the money will be distributed to altcoins at some point, and stay focused on that. At any point, this will drop off and start to move. Another chart as well, before I jump into the altcoins and go through a bunch of them for you guys, is the USDT dominance. Now, if I was a token trader, I would tell you that this token right now is in a downtrend, right? The reason is you could see that it was moving up. And again, this comes down from January. This is why the markets were bearish, right? Because this was telling us people that are flying. Remember, the USDT dominance is saying what percentage of the market is sitting in money, right? Sitting in USDT, stables, right? And we're sitting around 4%. Which again, how can you not be bullish on crypto when only 4% of money is sitting in actual stables, right? But nonetheless, this is a good meter to understand people that are flying into money, which means panicking out of the market or getting out of the market versus deploying money into the market, right? So we saw here that beginning of the year, people were panicking out and basically selling their positions. There was a lot of people that got rid of their bags and that in these areas over here. And you can see it was also a very strong trend to the upside. You could see that every time we broke through, we were turning it into support. We broke through a level, we turned to support. We broke through, we turned to support, and we kept going. And then the big signs that we obviously got was a couple of weeks back when Bitcoin obviously pushed for the highs and we lost this big trend here. And what that basically created over here was the change. The first change was the lower low. And now we're in this downtrend. So which means that we are now doing this. As we are breaking levels to the downside, we are making our way down, right? So you could see here that this over here is big resistance. Okay, and we pushed up, that's rejection now. So the next point now is to push down over here. So the next pump is pretty big, guys. It's actually very similar to what we saw now. And remember, ETH went from 1,400, okay, to $2,700. Okay, that was nearly a 100% move in ETH, and that was this over here. So this for me is indicating the next leg. And again, I think it will be obviously bigger when the real alt season happens, and we know that's coming at any point. But this is just telling us again that the market is bullish. Okay, and you could see that it's telling me now that a push will happen, then a test, and then a go, right? Which means again, there is going to be an opportunity to buy. Let the market pop a little bit. Okay, because we also here in support trend lines. It's also telling us we can reject right now, then push, and then explode to the downside. So it's telling us you don't have to FOMO in right now. You buy what is good and what is sexy right now. Okay, but get ready. Do not miss this opportunity. Because then I don't know. Then your next opportunity is only coming in the next month. I'm serious, guys. When this goes here, we all sit here and I'm fighting with you guys, fighting the market with you guys. Okay, really hard to get buys. But when I'm telling you this market pumps 100% from here, it ain't going to be easy to get back into the market. It's going to be tough, right? It's not going to be easy to get in. So that is a thing of urgency yet again. And here is your altcoins as well. Altcoins are about to break trend. Again, we had resistance now telling us that a bunch of alts are getting ready to pop. Okay, so this, because I told you what I think is going to happen on Bitcoin, this is what I see happening on altcoins. We're going to pump up, we're going to test, and then we're going to go. Okay, which means that there are some buys right now that are breaking freshly trends, and I'm only touching the coins that are breaking trends. If the token's been going like this and it's already popped, I ain't touching it. I'm waiting for when it comes back down, that's when I'll buy it. But if a token has been trailing down and only popping trend now, I'm interested in it, right? And I'm only interested on 4-hour, daily, weekly, higher time frame trend breaks. I ain't here to trade the small moves. I'm getting ready for the big mega move to the upside. Okay, so if you look at things like ETH, I'm actually midterm bearish on ETH. Okay, for the next 3 months, I'm very bullish on ETH. But for the next 2-3 days, it's on the other side of the trend here. So what I see happening on ETH is a push up, shake down into the 224, which I think is a really good price on ETH. Okay, and then rocket ships. So for a token like ETH right now, I got my positions. Right, I still have my leverage positions that we're buying at 1.8 and 1.9 and 2,000, stuff like that. But anything fresh, that's the zone. Okay, but if I look at Solana, same thing. Still sitting on the outside of the trend. So I'm going to let Sol pop, let it come down, and I'm going to get Sol over there. Right? You see the understanding. Put my trend in. That's what I see happening. At any point now, a pop, that is my sexy zone over there. Right? Then I look at this one. Doge is breaking now. Right? So Doge for me is a little bit more urgency right now to trade Doge than Solana right now. Okay? Because this one is starting to pop the trend. And what this one is showing me is a nice pop actually. Then a pullback, then we get going. But the problem is why I'm willing to buy some now is because this pullback might not be as big. We might push here, pull back here, and then go. We might not get this entry again. So it means, again, if I have $1,000 to buy, I'm very much buying $300 to $400 now. Maybe even the 50-50 rule can come into this play over here too, right? So buying a little bit of Doge now, but I also know, again, Bitcoin's at resistance. So 30%, 40% makes sense. Okay, the rest is sitting in case there's some cheaper ones over here, okay, which we never know, okay? But for me, I will add the rest over here. So Doge has a little bit more urgency today, okay? Keep an eye on Cardano. Cardano hasn't popped yet, okay? But it's very close to the trend line. Okay, and all that you're seeing here, and I just want to show you guys, when this token was coming down, it was moving like this, and then it had the big shake. Now we're sitting over here at trend lines, right? And what it's telling you is, if you look at this over here, it's telling you that where we're sitting now is where the previous low is, where resistance is. We're sitting flat into resistance now with the altcoins. But what it's telling you, that if it breaks this trend now, it's going to go to the next resistance. So it's going to go to where the top was before the big pullback actually happened. Okay, so it shows me that from here, it's going to push all the way up here, then pull back, give us an inverse head and shoulders. You see the bullish pattern over there. Then we start rocketing up. So going back here to Cardano, just so you can understand the levels, I want you to understand what I'm seeing. It's not about me knowing the markets. You must see what I'm seeing, right? If you look at this over here, where this whole dip started off, okay, you could see here very clearly. Let's show you. There's the left shoulder. We are now this side of the head, right? Pump the head, drop, go. Right? Fantastic. So again, this, if I see we're breaking here, this is something. And the only reason, again, because then we'll say, Sheldon, why don't we just wait for this over here? We might not pull back as deep on this pullback. We might decide to go here, here, here. Right? And start ripping. This market will turn bull and the confidence will come back at any point now. The daily stocks at the bottom, market is at that sentiment where now it's time for longs, right? It's time for the market to go bull. Okay, so again, I'm keeping an eye on the Cardano trend break, right? We look at Chainlink. Now, what I like about this too, guys, is you will see, again, I'm going to teach you. It's very important to teach you. When the token was doing this, then dropped and did this, okay, what you will see is you will see the main trend at the top of where we started, okay, and you will also see the main trend that is happening now. And what that does is it gives you two trends. Now, I love charts and a structure like this. The reason is it gives me an understanding, a roadmap of what to do when this plays out. Because I don't think we actually prepare for our success. I think we hope that we're going to be successful. And then when the success comes, we kind of don't know what to do. Sheldon, should I get out? Should I move my stop loss? What should I do, right? All of this should happen before the trade comes, before it actually plays out, right? So that you are aware. You should not be trying to wing and figure things out when they starting when things are already in play. So here it's quite simple. We're breaking this trend and we are going to this trend. That's the first thing. So again, would I prefer to buy this trend break or this one? This one's the early entry. So getting something in here makes sense. The second thing is I know we are going here. And I also know we can reject and then break it, which means another opportunity is coming, right? But what also can happen is from here, once we get through here, we can pop through. So what that means is, that means that from here, I'm buying something, right? And I have a stop loss, for example. Then we push up, we push down. As we break here, I can buy the rest, for example. But what it also does for me is it says, hey, Sheldon, update your stop loss. Oh, amazing. So it's telling me that get your entries here. It's the better entry. When we break these trends, update your stop, get rid of your risk, add whatever you want to add left in, and let's go. Right? So I love it when I see these. So going back to the chart now, so you can see it over here, this is what you see, right? You see the immediate. This one actually has 3, and this is what I love, right? This has 3, and let me show you straight here. Okay, so first one, you started the trend at the top. That's the big one, right? That's the one that, hey, we're going to go fly. And it also shows you, I always tell you guys, that when you have an initial trend and you distance yourself from the trend, it always tells you at some point, price is going to go back home. It's going to go back to where the momentum is. Because the trend that you have, the trend line that you are putting in place over here is tracking momentum. And when we start to go against it, it will always return back to the neutral place of momentum again, right? And it's the same thing when the markets are going to the upside and then does this. I will always tell you, guys, we far. At some point, the magnet is going to come back. It's going to come and trap all those things again. So the moment that we start to move far from it, it tells you at any point, it's going to neutralize back, right? So again, on the top here, there's the top trend. Then I take the next one over here and I say, okay, there's the next trend. Okay, take it in over here. There's the next trend. Now, what I have is this fan, right? And I have this fan of structure. So what's the point over here? is that Chainlink is actually in zones now where it's getting ready to pop, right? For me, buying a bit of Chainlink, right? 30-40%. If it pops through in a test here, I'm also buying another 30-40%, and I'm also updating my stop loss. Then it pops through over here, buy the rest in, update my stop loss, update my stop loss. It gives me the structure and the understanding that these lines mean something, and it means that something's going to speed up. So I'm just explaining this to you so you can understand that right now we are getting the early breakout. After that, there's another big breakout, and then there's the big one. But if I can use this period over here to build my positions and get rid of my risk, by the time we pop this and start making the real money, I've done my job. I can actually sit back and just relax. I've done the work versus those who have to come and try figure it out over here. Okay, amazing. So Chainlink is in the good zones. Let's go through the list. Oh, a token I really want to speak about is this one. I think your entry is going to come, and I think it's going to come pretty soon. Is AVAX, guys. Here's the buy zones on AVAX. Okay, it's the $20, so 20.3, 20.4 type of area. It can go all the way to the support over here. There we go. So call it $20 to this area of this 20.6, right? I want AVAX. AVAX is by far one of the fastest recovery tokens right now. It dropped off into support zone, strong. The big supports that we have bounced before it's gone parabolic before. Remember, before this, we dropped into the 19. We pumped all the way to 27, right? Big pump quickly. This one has broken this trend. Okay, going to push up, and this is my zone. So I'm not going to wait if it's going to test here first. If it's in the green zone, I am getting AVAX. Okay, AVAX is a big one that I am paying attention to. After this, once we're in the zone, we're ready to pop. I see AVAX pumping back into the mid-20s. And then not only that, I think we're going to go for the 40, right? So AVAX is a big one. You guys now understand my trends. So I'm not going to talk too much around the trades to take here. You can see what I'm seeing here, right? There's the one trend. There's the other trend. And if you zoom out, there's the next trend. So if you love say, I don't have to tell you much than three lines. Isn't TA a lot simpler than what we think, right? It is. Okay, 3 lines. You can now see what to do. I just explained the theory, right? Look at NEA. NEA's popping pretty nice. Too late to buy right now. Remember, don't chase. Buy what is just breaking or about to break. That's why I said focus on the Carderos. However, this is showing strength. Okay, so here is resistance. Let me show you guys. Here's resistance. That is support. So the way I see it now is pump, push, go. That's where I want to catch it. Amazing. Okay, R-Weave. You could see. Okay, R-Weave's actually really good spot and long-term entries. Okay, we're popping through the trends here. There's some support over there. Amazing. There's the next trend line over there. Great. Right, your NAKA is in zones. I told you guys about NAKA. I told you about Render. I told you. ONDO, guys. ONDO, I think, is a banger spot trade right now. These entries here between this 80 cents and 85 cents for spot. If I was a leverage trader, I would wait for the retest, but I think ONDO is going to make its way to the dollar mark pretty soon. TON is in great zones. TON's in the big buy zone I spoke to you about. There's ALGO. There's Injective. If they're pumping, guys, let them pump, let them test, and then let them go. That is where you are going to catch. A couple of other altcoins to pay attention to is your ETH memes, and that are also going to get ready to start waking up. Right, ETH and Sol memes. I think memes are going to start pushing. So if you want some trades, again, I don't really like these coins as investments, but as trades, they're good. Keep these trends in mind, right? They're not far from big trends. Just to show you an example here, when Shibu starts to break this, okay, this trend, and we start pushing up over here, there is good trades. And let's actually zoom out here and show you. Here we go. Okay. Once we get through this phase over here, we're looking at pushes up. We're looking at easily, when it comes to a couple of these memes, a 70 to 80% move incoming. Okay, and it'll probably happen very quickly. So keep an eye on these over here. The other one I want to show you guys as well is Uniswap as well in a good long-term buy. Believe in the ETH ecosystem. I just want to remind you where you're buying this. You're buying this right here at the bottom of investment levels. Okay, so another big, great opportunity sitting when it comes to accumulating over here. Amazing. Guys, I also want to show you something great. You know I've been building my butt off on an indicator, right? We've been building a sniper indicator, and it's amazing. And I want to show you what the indicator is basically calling right now. The indicator has just called a buy on Bitcoin on the daily, right? Meaning that if you want to buy something for the next 2-3 weeks, it's telling us Bitcoin's getting bullish. And this is my indicator that's rocketing strong. Right, look at this over here. Do you see how amazing this indicator is? See how you use it? And you see how it just tells you, oh, BNB is getting ready for buy. Solana's in a buy zone now. You know, on all the different, and you can go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour is telling you, let's see what the 1 hour is telling us over here. ETH going to a buy zone now in the 1 hour. BNB is in the 1 hour. These are loading. They trades in play at the moment. AVAX, right? Look at this, right? So again, I just want to show you that the sniper indicator is telling us that 3 or 2 really good tokens right now in the long term is obviously Bitcoin, and it's telling me Solana. It's telling me that Sol is getting ready for a pop. Look at that. And it's also, do you see how it gives you a stop loss as well? Amazing, right? You don't need to chart anymore, right? Sniper charts for you. Look at this over here. You could see that this is telling us, and the signal came through between today, this morning and last night. We have the buy zone now hitting and the buy trigger hitting on Sol, okay, for the midterm as well. So I'll be going every day or so. I'll go through a couple of what the sniper indicator is saying over there and get through. I got a bunch of sponsors. Today's not about sponsors. I love my sponsors to bits. You know, all of them. Links below in the description. I just wanted to spend time with you guys. Guys, have a phenomenal Saturday. Love you guys lots. Have an absolute great day, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.